I busted my ass and I was just laid off. These companies do not care about us. They want us to give us a 2-week notice, but yet can just fire us and ruin our lives on the spot any day that they choose. I have a 2-year-old son, no savings, which is my fault, and it doesn't fucking matter. So now I have to go back on the job hunt, and I have to get a work from home job because I have a 2-year-old that I have to take care of. Can't afford daycare. Rent is $2,500 where I live. Now I gotta find out how to pay off my lease early because there's no way that we could afford to live here. I don't even have a computer. They just locked me out of my computer. You know, I really thought that the culture at my job was great, the best that it's ever been. And for them to just lay me off, not even based off of performance, because my manager just shouted me out today, saying I'm doing a great job, and then fired me.
Why can healthcare workers get fired for posting at work even if there's no patient or patient information being shown? My name is Morgan. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have a story time about this. Every single hospital in the United States has a social media policy, and I'm willing to bet money that it says something to the effect of you cannot take pictures, post, etc. while you are at work and on the clock. At one of the first nursing jobs I had, our unit secretary got fired for taking a selfie in the bathroom. The bathroom where there is absolutely no patient information, and it's a private unit bathroom, so there's no patients in it. She didn't even have her badge on, y'all. But HR and the unit manager were able to fire her, and the reason that they cited in their termination papers was that it was a violation of the social media policy, and this was before the days of TikTok. These employers are not playing right now. Under the video that everyone's talking about, which is the Lotto Brokey Challenge, there were so many people in HR that said that they literally have task forces that they are dedicated and assigned to look through social medias of employees and see if they are violating the policy. The second obvious reason is stealing time. If you're supposed to be working and providing patient care, filming videos for TikTok could get you in trouble. Lastly, if it goes against the organization's values, you know you can't be up in these people's jobs cursing.
So I was fired today and wanted to come on because I feel like, number one, this happens to a lot of people, and I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. You know, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom, or like, this was like a random meeting put on my calendar, and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly and then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, you know, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, you know, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day randomly, my manager called me. It was like, you know, how's it going? You know, normal conversation. And then he goes on to like completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple real rental properties, and I was like, he's gonna work on like managing them, and yeah, like, I don't know, that was like it. I just said he's doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change like what he's doing. And then he's like, well, you know, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's going to be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, you know, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing. Like, no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone. But he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and yeah, I mean, it was fine, moved on. I like reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about like, you know, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to like April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now, and I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. And I'm just trying to process this. So like I went back to the handbook, and they added that your family cannot work at a competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I just hope that you're doing fine wherever you are today. Now I have a question. You know, today's society is different from the past society. We didn't have platforms like TikTok. We didn't have platforms like YouTube. These are platforms that people come out to talk about things. People come out to share their stories, to market their personal brands. Now let's say, for instance, you are employed by a company, and there are certain things that if you say, it will be used against you, or maybe you might be fired. I'm asking, where does the line between the freedom of speech and just socializing with people, just sharing your personal story with people on social media, where is the line? Because I'm seeing people being sacked out of job because they said something on the social media, something that maybe it's outside work, something that maybe they were just sharing with other people. It's so disturbing, because will we not talk because you want to get some money? This video will explain to you why you're seeing some people who are being fired on their first days in job. Some people are being fired because they said something on the internet. Some people are being fired because they promoted their brand on internet. But I think this is something which is so bad, because the social media, the medias that we have, they are for us to share our stories, to market our products, to share with people, to connect with people, because sometimes it's tiresome at work, and you want to just get out, you want to just talk to people for a while, you want to just socialize with people, you want to also see something different. Maybe you are somebody who is religious, or maybe something you said, you said something so controversial that affects your work. And I've seen these videos online. I was like, damn, why are they doing this to people? Right now, I want us to watch this video. I would definitely want to know what you think about this. Honestly, I don't know, because people have freedom of speech, and you gotta say what you gotta say. Let people see, let people feel what you're saying, right? Because it's important to share with people. Why should somebody get you out of the job saying that you're destroying the image of their business just because you believe in certain ideas? I don't think that's fair enough, because these platforms, they are created for us to talk to one another, to learn from one another. But what if you air something, you say what you think, and just go to the job, and wake up in the morning, you're being told that no, you're being fired because you said something that maybe your HR or maybe your boss doesn't align with? You know what? I want us to watch these videos. I'll be back with my commentary. Tell me what you think about it. I'll definitely want to know.
I got fired again. So I had to pull myself together because this doesn't deserve a cry. But I don't know if you followed me back in January, but I was a recruiter and I lost my job. And I also do like social media marketing. And I ended up losing that job on the same day. And I got pretty much fired twice in one day in January. The social media, everything like the recruiting, that was just, layoffs and stuff like that. And then the social media, they just obviously couldn't afford a budget for marketing, which totally made sense. But it was just kind of hilarious. Like, did I just get fired twice in one day? So yeah. Then I got this new job and I started, and today I got fired again. So, I would come on here. So with my platform, I just like tell people everything and just express everything, but I never talk bad about anything. I would never talk bad about a company. I would never talk bad about any situation or anything like that. I just make light of situations. So supposedly I get a call today and they're like, we've seen your TikTok and today's going to be your last day. And I was like, okay. And some of the videos that they said, there was one where I was talking about training and I was like, oh my God, like, does anyone go after training and they learn all this stuff and you're like, wait, what did I just learn? I learned so much. So they got mad about that. And then another video, came on here, I was like, I'm like confused. I was like having a really depressed day and I was like, do you ever have this feeling where it's like you're not passionate about your job or you're like, oh my God, is this a job I'm gonna do forever? But then you're just sad. But it wasn't me bashing the job. It's more just like, I went through this like confusing state where like, is this what I want to do or is this not what I want to do? Because like, I'm turning 31 and it was like having that mental breakdown. And I just come on here and just, express how I'm feeling and seeing if anyone else feels that way. Then another one I did kind of like a joke being like, I was like calling a client or whatever. I think it was just like a voicemail and I'm just like, be quiet so they call you back, just like making a joke because I did get a lot of people, clients and recruiters on this platform from my first video that blew up about recruiting. So like I always try to weave some things in there to see if like I can make any connections that way. So I'd like try to make light of the situation. Of the situation. I think that cut off. But yeah, and so I'm like, I find it kind of bad that they didn't give me a warning. Like they should have been like, hey, like we saw this. Like, we don't want you talking about your work at all. And I would be like, okay, I'm so sorry. And I could have made that decision being like, okay, I'll take it down. Or, I love doing TikToks and that's like I made this brand for myself that I want to continue doing it. So that means like this job isn't for me. And they also were like, we see that you're posting on during work hours. And I'm like, I'm like, well, I always post in the morning. I post 3 things in the morning and I have it set up so it sets and does it. And I'm just like, and also I'm like, what am I back in the restaurant industry where I can't just like go for 4 seconds and like post something? Like I'm a little confused. I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because this is a long story. So stay tuned.
From my job. This was my pre-degree dream job we're talking about. I was obsessed with this place. And my boss texted me and she's like, how are you not going to show up to work? Like, you're fired. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? Like, when was this? Like, she goes, you can't not like show up to work. Like, I had a bunch of tasks for you to do and you didn't even come. Like, you didn't even tell me you weren't going to come. I waited for you the whole day and you didn't show up. I had a bunch of things for you to do, like a bunch of tasks. We ended up figuring it out here in the office, but it was supposed to be for you and you didn't do it because you weren't here. So we had to all figure it out. I don't know who figured it out, but someone else did in the office. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, yeah, you're fired. I don't want to hear it. And I'm like, but hear me out. I was there that day. How are you just gonna fire me when like you're not even letting me speak? She goes, how am I gonna let you speak if you didn't even come to work? And I'm like, I was there. Like, I was literally there. And who do you think completed all those tasks? I did. I completed my own tasks because I did go that day and I stayed all the way to the end. She goes, no, you weren't. Like, I didn't see you. And I'm like, but I was there. And she's like, all right, let's check the cameras. We checked the cameras and guess who was there? Me. She's like, oh my God, I didn't even see you. You're so skinny, I didn't even see you. And then she was looking at the camera and she's like, your body's giving Victoria's Secret skinny. Like, eat a cheeseburger. Like, your body's so skinny. And then like she zoomed into my waist. My waist wasn't there. So just because my waist wasn't there doesn't mean I wasn't there. I was there, my waist just wasn't. So I got fired from work because I'm too skinny. I wish.
Yo, how I just get fired on my first day? I cease to amaze myself every job. But one thing I will never forget is my motherfucking worth, okay? So today was my motherfucking first day at Wingstop, bitch. Wingstop. And first off, I don't even eat chicken. So to eat the food was never a thing with me. Never a thing. First red flag, I got told I was getting paid $16 an hour. She told me 14 when I got there today. But she was not the one who hired me. Someone else hired me. So I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, because you have to show me that you're worth $15 an hour. I don't want to start you off at the maximum that you can reach, and you're not worth it. Who is you, bitch? Then on top of that, I'm supposed to be following somebody around all day, training. Well, there is the manager, but the manager that's on the ship is not training me. They have this 18-year-old little ass girl training me. She stressed the fuck out. Then while they big back ass up in there eating Wendy's behind the counter, she said you have to clock out for, none of them hoes clocked out for, she said you have to wear a hat, none of them hoes wear a hat. Then she gonna tell me you can't be at the counter looking cute all day. I'm a cashier, bitch.
Hi guys. I just got let go from my job. I wasn't expecting that this morning. So I'll be fine. I worked for Midday Squares in marketing. They had to let go of the marketing division, which is fine. It just came as a bit of a shock. I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason. Able to maybe make more TikToks and create more content for you guys. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. I'm really gonna miss it. It was amazing. And I've learned so much in the past 8 months. I'm still in the parking lot. I haven't moved because I actually don't know how I'm gonna drive home. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and just be really real. This is life. And you gotta get up and keep grinding. If anyone's hiring in marketing, anyone knows anyone that's hiring a marketing specialist, I'm free. Onwards and upwards from here. Okay, bye.
I got fired from a job that I burned myself out for, and my biggest fear was getting fired. I was doing everything to avoid the exact thing that happened because I forgot that it was a transactional relationship. They didn't owe me anything beyond my pay, and I agreed to that. Yet somehow I lost sight of that along the way. They didn't say, hey, we guarantee you a job if you become an unrecognizable version of yourself and skip sleep and exercise and think about work 24/7. They didn't promise me a forever if I put work above relationships. I wasn't required to miss out on the moments that matter most in my life to secure a spot at the company. They didn't have to keep me. They never did. I was so mad, how could they have done this to me after I've done so much for them? But the joke was on me. I thought that if I gave 110% every single day of my life that they should too, but that just was never a part of the agreement. Are you losing yourself to a job that'll never give you half the amount that you're giving them? Because that sounds like a pretty shitty deal.
We decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there. Also, why are you doing this and not my manager? We've never met, so this seems a little odd that my manager has no idea that this has been happening and the director has no idea that this has been happening. So I'm just definitely confused, and I would love an explanation that makes sense. Also, every single one-on-one I've had with my manager, every conversation I've had with him, he has been giving me nothing but I am doing a great job, I have had great activity, I have really great meetings. So I disagree that my performance hasn't been I haven't met performance expectations, and it must be very easy for you to just have these little 10-minute, 15-minute meetings, tell someone that they're fired, completely wreck their whole life, and then that's it with no explanation. It just doesn't make any sense that you guys have still not been able to give me a reason why I'm being let go.
Just from a process perspective, your questions are valid. This isn't going to be the forum and the situation where we're able to go into the detail that you're looking for.
But then when? If it's not right as I'm getting fired, then it's certainly not going to be after when I'm no longer part of the company.
So I don't think there's anything we can say in this moment or today, Brittany, that's going to change the way that you feel. And it's understandable. I'm taking notes and feedback, and we'll circle back.
Yeah, I know you did that for me too, but that's
of the meeting. It's not going to change the outcome of the situation today, so it may be best if I do get into more of the specifics of what the next steps are, because I think it's clear that you have questions that we cannot give answers to, and if you'd be open to it, I'd love to move into what the next steps are so that you're not any further blindsided than you already feel.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely, I think this is a messed up situation, and I'm saying we are going to a point where you can't say what you believe, you can't share your stories, you can't share the other side of stories, you can't let people know what you believe in, because every time you try to say something, it will always be used against you, either at the job, and you don't know who is watching. Now again, that's the problem. Today, everyone is always watching your video. So when you go to the job, you create a TikTok video, it trends, everybody watches, it's being shared different places. And then when it shares different places, it reaches your boss. And maybe you're saying something that they don't subscribe to. And they take it personal with you. And then they get it sacked. Some people are just promoting their brand. And then they'll tell you that, you either work for us or work for yourself. And I feel like that's so selfish, because if it's working hours, these people are dealing with what's happening during their job time. And now you want to fire these people because they are promoting their brand, and it seems like they're doing so much with their brand and they're just also working for you. They're getting some extra dollars out of your business. And now you want to fire them because their own personal brand is doing much better than the brand that you're doing. Okay. Also, this gentleman, this lady who was fired because her husband is working for a company that is competitive to the company that the wife is also. I mean, that's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. I haven't studied so much business, but what I know is she could have used even the lady to gather some information that those people, that his husband, used to drive or used to, to make their company a little more successful as compared to, other companies. If I mean, that's just to say, all in general, it's a sad situation, because you are having these platforms that people are sharing our life is so hard to them. People are sharing there are cases of mental health, and people just want to talk. There are toxic people at the job places. We have people sexually harass people at the job places. But if you have people that can have this social media, if we can have these people that can come and say this, because not everyone, it's not like in the past where people used to write things in their diary. Today we have a social media that keeps information. Today you say something on the social media, be rest assured, if everything goes well, 20 years later, you'll still find it. So people are going through a lot of things, and having a place like a social media to air out what you feel, to air out what you think, it's important, because people are dealing with different things. There are toxic people at the job places. There are people who sexually harass people. There are people that are depressed because there are some things that they're going through. Let them share. Let them have their voice. And I think where the society is going today, it's not a safe place. It's not really a safe place. And I know that social media is not 100% good, because it has the other side of it that most probably it's not good. But we can't just decide to close our eyes to the goodness that it has come with people to hear their voices. It's easier. It has created a job for people. Like these people who are working on their own brands, right? So for me, I feel like they need to go slow to these people. Let them understand that, it's okay to talk on the social media, but don't oversay this. But we're not restricting you from the freedom of speech, because that's literally denying a person the freedom of speech. I'll definitely want you to tell me what you think about this. I also have some things that are running in my mind while I was watching this video. So most definitely, I will really, really, really want to know what you think about this. These are presenter TICKTOCK stories, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.